So who knows who Robert Kiyosaki is? He has this cash flow quadrant, and on quadrant one, he has letter E, that's the employee, and B, business owner, S, self-employed, and I is the investor. So most people start their lives at E, and then at some point they try to be self-employed, but being self-employed kind of is limited, right? Because you're building yourself a job. This reminds me of when I was doing door-to-door sales. I would see these liquor stores in New Jersey, and I would feel really bad for the owners because from outside you see this big store with bottles of booze, and the owner itself was pretty much stuck behind the counter. And a lot of the times, some of the areas that I used to work at was like super sketchy areas. So they would have bulletproof glass and locks on the doors. And this guy pretty much have been living his life in this 2x2 tiny box area at the cash register for like, 12 to 15 hours a day. When you talk about like self-employed, that's the person that I always imagine in my mind. I'm like, oh boy, is that really better than having a job? Like, it's very difficult. Business owner is the person who multiplies his or her time, and it can use it as like a wealth building tool. The step after being a business owner is the investor, right? Because I mean, yeah, many people talk about investment, but investing in something, growing your investment portfolio requires money, and it's very challenging to have money come from your job. I mean, there are jobs that pay a lot of money, but it's rare. Usually you're helping build somebody else's dream, usually your boss, right? But as a business owner, that's where it's at. And if you're on this call today, that's what you're probably trying to accomplish for yourself. Either get rid of this option E or pull yourself out of this option S, and you're trying to be this, right? Because why? Well, it's pretty straightforward, actually. So if you become a successful business owner, it provides you a couple of things. So let's say this is the business owner, and this is your current situation. And who's happy with their current situations right now? Is everything going amazing right now that you wouldn't change anything? Or is it more like, no, I know that certain things are not going really well, so I need to do something about it. And you might not necessarily know what that something is, and that's why you're probably here. So most people know that their current situation is not the best. So they want to get to a destination, which is the desired situation, right? So if you're a business owner and you want to go from your current situation to your desired situation, there's a gap between those two, right? Current situation and desired situation. Usually your desired situation means that you're making more money, which is financial independence. If you had a magic wand, you probably have the money freedom, the time freedom, and also the location freedom, right? So you want to be able to live wherever you want, regardless of limitations. For example, certain professions, they give you the financial freedom, right? You make a lot of money. Some of the self-employed people that I know, they make a lot of money, but they have zero control over their time because they have to work 12 hours, 14 hours. And this used to be me. Like, I grew up in a super broke family, super low income. Then I got to this level having a job. So I had a sales job. I was making $250,000 a year, but I had no location freedom. I couldn't leave. My bosses wouldn't let me leave. And I had no time freedom. I would keep missing key moments in my marriage, in my family life, and all that stuff. So that was not, I thought that was my desired situation, but I found out early on that it's really not. So you're not at your desired situation unless you have all of these three, right? So you're making money that puts you at the top 5% or more in the United States in the income bracket, and you have control over your time. This doesn't mean that you don't have to work at all, but your time is in your control, right? And then your personal location freedom, you can travel. So currently, for the most part, I personally work from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. And after 3 p.m., my time is spent with my son and my daughter and my family. And we travel 8 to 10 times a year, as many times we want. And we do have the financial freedom. So if this can be accomplished, which we know that it can be accomplished because many of you said that you're not happy with your current situation, you want to get the desired situation. How do you do that? Well, you need a vehicle, right? So there has to be a vehicle as a business owner. You need to find a vehicle that can get you there. So when you start your journey and looking for that vehicle, you're looking for a business opportunity, right? So if V is vehicle, what kind of opportunities can we speak of, honestly, right? So one of them is brick and mortar businesses, right? So you can go ahead and start a franchisee concept. You can start your own vitamin shop. You can start your own gym and whatnot. So this is option one, brick and mortar businesses. Option two is online businesses, right? So you can take an investment course. You can start an e-commerce store, which is very common. You find stuff to sell on Amazon, online biz, right? And you try to make money that way. Another one is MLM, multi-level marketing structure. You're harvesting new relationships all the time, and you're leveraging your existing relationships to make them a part of a model. That's the third option. And any other options? The other one is investments. So you hear such as no money down real estate investments or buying rental properties and renting them out. I actually done all of them, believe it or not, right? These are like usually the options. And the goal with any one of them is to get to this desired situation. So you are now the business owner and you are trying to get to your desired situation. And these are some of the vehicles that you've chosen, right? So you can choose any one of them to get to that point where you don't need more money from your boss, you control your time, and you have the location freedom. What's the problem with the structure here with these business models? I mean, we all know that all of them make money for some people, right? You might as well try one of them and you'll be fine. The problem is all of them are a medium to the money. So if you're in the real estate industry, well, you better be able to buy a home or sell it, flip it, or hold on to it. If you're on the Amazon, you better be able to find the best products to exchange in return for more money. If you're in the multi-level marketing systems or schemes, whatever you want to call that, you better find more people and you put them under you, and you need to have them buy products or services. So out of that, you get to the money. If you're running any kind of other online business, you don't have direct access to this position. There's an exchange going on here all the time, which makes it super complicated, right? So do you want to buy a house? Do you want to constantly fight on Amazon with other people who are starting every single day? And do you want to become a part of multi-level marketing? And some people confuse you with being a scammer. I know not all multi-level marketing systems are that way. So there's so many online coaching and marketing agency trainings and courses and all of that. So this is the problem for me, right? So this is a very indirect way to reach this level. What if you can eliminate all of this and you, as the business owner, go straight and shorten this distance between your desired situation and your current situation? And your, again, desired situation is to make more money. What if you can do that without any middleware products through money? Because the number one way to generate massive results is to solve the number one problem for people, which is money. So I look for products and services and different options when you simply help people get money, because there's an alignment here, right? This is you. This is the other business owner. They're trying to get to their desired situation. What's holding them back is more money. They need funding to grow their business. They need funding to start their businesses. They need funding to buy equipment. They need funding to buy real estate because they believe in this model, which there's nothing wrong with that. I used to own real estate properties, right? Until I came across this industry. So you can help all of these people close this gap between where they are and their desired situation, which helps you in return close the gap between where you are to your desired situation. And that's what we do. We train people to be business loan brokers, right? As a business loan broker, you're leveraging the size and the money of a multi-trillion-dollar industry that not many people know about. I mean, last week I talked about the collapsing banks and how little people start the banks anymore. I mean, the mere thing you could have done that would have been considered safe with a bank was to deposit your money. And right now, it might not even be safe anymore, let alone asking them to give you money. Right. So they're good at bailing themselves out. But when it comes to giving money to small businesses, they're always hesitant. They always have new rules and regulations, but they have no problem selling your information. You keep getting privacy notices from banks saying that, hey, here's what we do with your information. Oh, I know what you do. You keep selling it to other businesses, right? As a business loan broker, you're becoming a part of something that has the 2008 effect, right? So back in 2008, we were in deep financial crisis. And then this industry started. So for a while, there was like not much happening. Then we're experiencing this. This is called the hockey stick growth. Now, more and more people want to get funding through alternative lending. When I first started out, I started out at this point, probably, right? And now you're here. And believe it or not, this is just the beginning of it. Why? Because even the banks are starting to back up some of the alternative funding options. That's crazy. And each transaction pays you anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 on average. Like that's per deal. So I haven't seen anything like that. When I used to own real estate properties, I'll be happy if I'm clearing a few $100s per month per door. That's how it is calculated usually. So if you have like a 4-family unit, you're calculating your profit per door. It would just take a lot to get to $1,000 of clear money per month. Like I know it's considered somewhat passive, but I would constantly deal with property managers. They're not working out properly. I mean, I had a property manager who would freaking forget to collect the rent. That's the reason of their existence, right? So you would think that that would have been the top of mind for them. Then you deal with the property manager and the tenants and all of that. I did an Amazon business. I used to find one product one day and it would just take off. Then a week later, I would have 1,000 competitors pretty much copying the same thing. And I would find myself out there trying to find more products again and again. I became a part of multi-level marketing and I found that I'm having weird conversations with people that I've been knowing for 20 years. They're my friends and family. I'm trying to sell them something. I'm like, yikes, this doesn't feel good. I don't like it, right? I became a part of many online businesses. There's always this, like you got to figure this out before you get to this. Why are we figuring this out when we're looking in the eyes of this massive money problem that's growing and growing and growing every single day? And by helping these people, we get to our desired situation. Because I was just in Utah with 20 other people who quit their jobs by being a part of BLB. Literally all of them had corporate jobs. And at some point they joined BLB and they're all full-time doing this right now. And I've seen them showing me their monthly commissions of 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. And I was having discussions with them in this Utah office with one of our lenders. And we've experienced, like all of us agreed that we're just barely scratching the surface of this. There's going to be more and more and more people needing funding. I mean, currently the size of alternative lending industry, number of brokers is only a few thousand, and more than 90% of them are under BLB umbrella, which is Business Lending Blueprint, which is business loan brokers, right? Just right here. And then more and more opportunities are being added to our arsenal, different product, the tax credits, equipment leasing, invoice factoring. And you don't need to know what those mean. But since 2008, this industry has been skyrocketing, and you have an opportunity to do something with relatively minimal effort. Like for most people, what they focus on, what I teach them about, is what's called BAMOS, right? The structure is super important. I created this system, BAM, right? BAM, I know it's going to sound kind of funny. It means bare ass minimum, right? Many people come to BLB with this grand goals of, I want to make $1 million. I want to make $500,000 a month. I want to make $100,000 a month. That's awesome. But let's not forget where we are. So you currently are making some kind of money, right? I know some people are unemployed. They're looking for their next option. They're going through their savings. But let's say you have a way of earning income, and that could be anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000, 15,000, right? When you start a new business, that's why I don't like a lot of the business ideas here, because they don't take into account this bare ass minimum. how am I going to pay my bills while I'm still required to hold that job or hold that business, right? That's the important part. Yeah, it's nice and dandy to claim that, oh yeah, 5 years from now, you'll be making 100,000. But how am I going to go through those 5 years, man? Like, talk to me about that. That's why bare ass minimum is, what do you need to earn in order for you to keep a roof over your head? And we talk about this when you join your success manager, you guys determine that amount. Let's say it's $5,000. Okay. So we say, okay, so that's our first goal. We need to make sure that you make a minimum of $5,000 so you can get rid of your 9 to 5, your failing business. So you create more time, because time creates money. If you have no time, well, if you have only 1 hour a day, that's okay, because this 5K is only 2 deals per month. 2 deals. We're not looking to have you sign up 100 people at a low ticket, like $10 offer. You're not selling cable. You're not selling water. Just 2 deals, helping 2 people accept money through you. And it's not even your own money. You're going through lenders, right? And most of the time, this comes from people that you might already know, the business owners, and you can post on your social media if you have any social media accounts. If not, you can reach out to some people, and we also show you how to find these people. That's BAM. Step number 2 is O, which is the objective. All right, so this is what it will take for us to keep our current standard of living. Objective is, how much would you like to make in the next 90 to 120 days, right? Let's say this number, you say, Oz, it would be awesome if I can make 15K. Awesome in the sense of it's realistic, right? So it's not like a pie in the sky number. Like, if I can make 15K, Oz, I can pay off my debt. I can 100% say goodbye to my boss and work from home. And I can have some access cash to do the things that I want to do. Making 15K per month will be my objective. For others, like we have software developers, they're already making 15K per month. So 15K is their BAM. That's why these numbers are placeholders. Just use your own numbers. Okay, so you're at 15K, your objective is 15K. You already figured out how to get 2 deals that could take you here, right? And all you have to do is just change this to 5-6 deals per month, right? That's, let's just say 5 deals per month, because we know that for every 4 deals that you fund, one of them, statistically speaking, happens to be a whale, the big fish whale, right? And that gives you $10,000 to $15,000. So all you're needing is 5 deals, and we show you how to get that 5 people who need funding from you. Oh, we haven't even touched the repeat income and the residual income, because if you help one business get access to capital, that same business will need funding 3 more times per year. And that's in full automation. If you're in our lender network, even if they do all the work, they still pay you. So no one goes behind you. They don't fund the deal and leave you out. That happens if you try to do this on your own. So that's the objective at 15K for this specific example. The S at the end stands for stretch. If you had a magic wand, if you fast forward a year from now, how much would be majestic to make? Like, what would be the stretch in your mind? Like, stretches your imagination. And you say, you know what, Oz? I think 40K per month would be that stretch for me. I would want to stretch myself to that point. I'm telling you, I just spent a few days with people who are making 30 to 50K per month, and they did not come from this industry. You should have seen the introductions in that room. Some people came from the car industry. Some people came from the banking industry. Some people were teachers, right? They all got to that point by following this system. This is not going to happen tomorrow, but it is very possible. We have members in our community that are making up to 200K per month. Let's have an imaginary experience here. If your stretch is 40K, what would you be doing? Like, close your eyes and imagine yourself as being someone making 40K per month right now. What would that change for you in your personal life, in your business life? What do you think happens to your kids, your grandkids? Plus, what kind of example you're setting up for generations to come? Again, I grew up in a low-income family. My father was poor. My grandpa was poor. My grandpa's grandma was poor. It was like a family curse. Someone needed to break that. It's extremely difficult. I'm the first millionaire in our family. And then I watch around me, it affects everybody's decision-making right now, because for the first time, at least for our little family, right, someone was able to show that it can be done. Was it easy? Of course not, but it is better than the other option because all of you guys are putting the time to do something, build something, work for somebody, try to make money. Why not try to do that for yourself and try to get to this point, be able to create this map and follow this properly and get to the stretch point? What if this takes a year, guys? What is a year in comparison to what you've been putting in for decades for most people? So I own multiple businesses. I've done many things. I still do. I haven't found anything that's better than this. And I created the system because that was my problem starting out. How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to buy a house? I was in a situation where I had to ask my newlywed wife to move in with my parents the moment that we got married because I couldn't afford to pay rent. That was embarrassing. And she's the woman of my life for over a decade. She said yes. I'm like, who says yes to that? So we moved in with my parents for 2 years in their basement. And she bussed tables. She was waiting tables. I had a sales job. And on the side, I was working at a restaurant, just collecting tips and washing dishes and whatnot. So I know what it is like to figure this out. Your first 100,000 is the most difficult money to make. After that, if you can't do anything, at least you can repeat that. But it is a lot easier to make that into 200,000, 300,000. That's why the rich people usually say your first million is the most difficult because that's the next milestone. After you make your first million, it's a lot easier because now you have this figured out. You understand the cycle of money. You understand how money goes around. So we create this exclusive community. When you join Business Lending Blueprint, you're not just learning about the business itself, but I know that from my experience dealing with a lot of people have different learning modalities, right? Some of them want to go in and learn on their own pace. So that's why we have tens of hours of recorded content on how to build a business. Others learn through hand-holding. They want small group discussions, one-on-one discussions. Others learn through live events. They want to join. And again, I was with 20 of my best people and we created this amazing synergy and bond. It became like family. At the end of day 2, people are crying and hugging each other because we're on a mission, right? We're on a mission to beat poverty. That's super important. And then as a part of the BLB, we give you all the marketing that you need. We give you your own website. You're not selling on behalf of BLB. You're creating your own business. That's why I support the letter B, business owners, not affiliate for BLB, not a multi-level marketing scheme. You actually own your own lending company in the financial services industry. Whether you have any experience or not doesn't really matter. So if you check us out, and I'm going to give you a link, you'll see so many people from so many walks of lives doing this. And you could be one of those people. You don't have anything missing. The only thing is the ambition, right? And if you were not ambitious, you would not have been listening to me all this time. So I highly suggest that you check this out. So we give you access to all the content and support you need. Our support is US based. You can have Zoom calls, phone calls with them. You have access to actual coaches who help you through. You have access to our lender network. Like these people fund all kinds of deals. If someone has horrible credit, like 450 credit, and they have a business, they can still get funding. We have over a dozen different lending options and over 150 different lenders in our network. Even if you know nothing about lending, we have a done for you lending, meaning that even if you just want to pass your contacts over to our lenders and have them do the work and close it, you can do that. If you want to become a full-on business loan broker and work directly one-on-one with the lenders, you can do that too. And you have access to our community. Imagine 10xing this. We have hundreds of people who are already in our community and they're loving it. They ask questions to each other. They learn from each other. That's an amazing community. So I'm going to give you a link here for you to see if you want to talk to one of my team members to see if this is a good fit for you. You can just fill out the survey so we get to know who you are and schedule a call with our team to see if joining Business Lending Blueprint is the right fit for you. Definitely have a conversation with them. They've been with me for years. So this is not a high pressure sales call. We just want to find out if this is the right fit or not, because quite honestly, it might not be. Like, I don't know you, right? So you guys are all positive and you understood my message when I was talking about the BAMO structure, the business itself. But let's find out if it is time for you to put a stop to this money problem and build yourself a recession-proof skill set and recession-proof business. Thank you for joining me tonight. Talk to you later. Take care.